Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And a bad day just got a lot worse for South African teams on the back of the Springboks losing, on the back of the Stormers losing, on the back of the Bulls losing. The Sharks have just been handed a very big 42 points to 17 defeat at the hands of Munster. So not a particularly good day for South African teams in the URC. A bit of a rude awakening for all of them. And this match, the Sharks started off pretty well, but we're just talking about the quality difference, and there does seem to be a bit of a gulf in quality, along with a range of different factors, of course. But the Sharks just could not contend, and Munster, who brought a very physical game, bullied the Sharks for a large portion of the game, winning all the scrums, putting them under a lot of pressure with some rolling maws, and the line and the back line today, some very slick handling from Munster, some very nice tries, and just too much, and they pretty much just ran the Sharks off their feet. And the Sharks with a couple of moments, intercept try from Butcher-Chamberlain, followed by a very, very nice try, finished off by Yao Penkle, it must be said. When it worked pretty nicely, but a big clash, and it's back to the drawing boards for the two the two big teams in South Africa, it must be said, between the Sharks and the Bulls, who were always going to have very tough starts going up against Munster and Leinster today, but you look at the Sharks side, and I think it's just very abundantly clear they are missing, 10 plus players of their first team that they need to get back. Because some of these players you can see can play at this level, but at the end of the day, we've got players who should not be playing at this level either just yet, or maybe even at all. And it's going to be quite difficult sort of couple of weeks to try and get through these situations, get through these games, before they can eventually bring their best players back. And until then, there could be some very, very difficult games on the pitch. But if we look at the game, it was a horrible start. The 5th minute of the game, Butcher-Chamberlain tried to sort of throw a bit of a chicken wing pass, and it went straight to Simon Zebo, who then ran the length of the field. And after the Sharks were sort of camped in Munster territory for all those times, it was a pretty hard blow to take, and Joe Carberry adding the extra points there. Things did not get any easier. The Sharks stayed in the game for a long, long time. In fact, they were in Munster territory and were sort of keeping Munster there, playing a lot of territory. But it all got a lot harder when Thomas Toy got binned in the 28th minute. Although the Sharks did defend very well, in fact, they managed to get themselves back into Munster territory and nail a penalty goal through the boot of Kerwin Bosch. There was a try in the 35th minute and a try in the 40th minute, which sort of knocked the sails out of the Sharks. That try in the 35th minute was coming with the yellow card, but you're sitting there thinking, 8 points to 3 or 10 points to 3 is not a bad result, but that try right up at half-time was a bit of a sucker punch, which really, I think, took a lot of the sort of wind out of the Sharks' sails. And then in the second half, it didn't help that within 10 minutes, the Munster had gone over, sort of steamrolling. It was just so physical, wasn't it? It was a bit of a battering ram a lot of the time. And then when they did spread the ball to the back line, some very, very nice performances. The likes of Conway was very involved. I thought the two centers from Munster were very good. Joe Carberry controlled the game pretty well. And a man of the match performance from Craig Casey, who was very good at scrum half for Munster. As I said, the Sharks hit back in the 56th minute through an intercept try from Butcher-Chamberlain. And I think the dominance and the sort of the way they were going into the game was demonstrated in Munster actually going for a 3-pointer in the 68th minute before 2 minutes later, a brilliant try down the left flank. Very good run by Jeremy Ward to get outside his man, offload off the ground. Very nice pickup from Yao Penkle, who got away from one defender and then ran into the try in the 70th minute. Kerwin Bosch adding the extras there. But then the sucker punch of all, 2 tries in 2 minutes for Munster, as Chris Cloutey went over after about 2 or 3 minutes of defending on the line before, right at the end of the game, Munster just going wide, throwing a couple of good passes. Nobody at home. The kick through from Goggin, and Simon Zebo then ran in for his second. If we look at the stats, possession-wise, 65% for Munster, 35% for Sharks. So, something that they need to try and change. Just didn't have much of the ball. 6 tries to 2. Munster ran 332 meters throughout the game, 129 carries to the Sharks 49. Sharks actually beat more defenders and made more clean breaks, but the offload game for Munster was very impressive, making 15 offloads. Conceded more turnovers because they sometimes got a little bit isolated. But the Sharks, each team missing 18 tackles as well. So defense-wise, it wasn't a case of not making enough tackles. It was a case of not making the right tackles and the very important tackles. In terms of individual performances, obviously, the likes of Simon Zebo getting 2 tries on his return to Munster. Carberry chipping in with 7 points. Also a brace for Gavin Coombs, the 8th man. Chris Clutie coming off the bench to score a try. Ben Healy scoring 5 points to the boot. But Craig Casey was the very impressive performer for Munster. I thought their front row was very solid. Really did give the likes of Kwesi, Kieran Trumfury and Thomas Toy a hard time. I thought Leroux Roots carried pretty strongly, but defensively needs to shape up a little bit. I think it's just a shout out to Pepsi Buthelezi, who once again continues to lead from the front. Making a lot of tackles, making a lot of carries. He made 6 carries today, and I think made the most tackles by a Sharks defender by quite a long way. So he's just relentless, absolutely relentless. And whilst they'll learn a lot from this game and they'll take away and think that this is quite a big step up, somebody like Pepsi Buthelezi, you can see belongs at this level. And I think that that's the problem with the Sharks. They need to get more players into the side that do belong at this level and can play at this level. And with missing all their Springboks and a couple of injuries, it's very apparent that there are a lot of players who aren't quite at this level. And it sounds very harsh. And look, there's a lot of factors in tonight. Being away, being in a stadium with fans, very foreign conditions. So I think we'll definitely see improved performance from next week from a lot of these teams. I think just that 1 week, they'll learn quite a bit. But at the end of the day, outclassed on the night by a very, very professional Munster side. It's also very good to see Archies Neyman coming off the bench. Hopefully see him in the Springbok end-of-year tour. And we've got one more match left in the URC. Ospreys will be taking on Scarlets. That gets kickoff tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So I think it's the Dragons, actually, they're taking on. Kickoff tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So you can come and join us for that one. Until then, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. It's been a cracking first weekend of the URC, and long may the standard of this competition continue to get even better and make our lives very, very enjoyable from a rugby perspective. Thank you very much for watching. Please do smash like on the video. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you guys soon.